Behind every successful woman is a story most people never see. The late nights, the tough decisions, and the moments where giving up would have been easier. She didn't. Welcome to Successful Women Entrepreneurs, where we uncover the strategy, the systems, and the real journey behind success. So if you've ever felt like you're doing all the things, but still not getting the results you want, make sure you stay until the end, because what she shares could completely change that for you. Today, we're joined by Aurore Mukeshimana. Let's dive in.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to introduce you to an amazing powerhouse woman, Aurore Mukeshimana. She is incredible when it comes to social media, content creation, automation, and systems. She's your go-to person. I'm going to dive in and go ahead and introduce you. Welcome. How's it going, Aurora?
Oh, hi, Starr. It's really nice to be here with you today. I'm so excited with what we have to share with our listeners, and I am so honored to be here with you today.
Yes, I've been watching you, and you are definitely a powerhouse. And so there's going to be so much value given today, ladies. So tune in. All right. So we know a lot of people in our community already know that they should be posting consistently, but they're not actually doing it. From your experience, what's actually going on there?
That's a very good first question, Astar. So the people who come to us are not actually lazy. They're some of the hardest working business owners I've ever met. But at the end of the day, when it time becomes to post, people are empty. The tank is dry. It's not a knowledge gap, it's a systems gap. They're trying to create content on demand and from scratch every single day. So that's not a strategy. It's actually a burnout recipe. So knowing you should post every day and actually posting every day are two completely different things. And one has nothing to do with creativity.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so we know that most people assume that they just need to create better content ideas, use that creativity, or even have a better strategy. Do you agree with that or not?
No, no. And that's a belief that could send you in the wrong direction, actually, because you will buy the course, you will watch the webinars, you download another content calendar, and you still don't post on Tuesdays because nothing feels ready ever. So, creativity is not the issue. I have worked with brilliant business owners, realtors, network marketers, gym owners who could speak golden in like sentences over the phone, but the thing is, they have the great ideas. The ideas are never the problem, but the system to get those ideas published is the problem.
That is so true. You're absolutely right. They're a genius at what they do. But when it comes to the social media, the content creation, which brings in more business, there is definitely a gap that I see. So,
Mhm.
why do you think so many business owners are struggling to stay consistent, even when they know how important it is?
Because knowing and doing live in different parts of the brain. Knowing is simply awareness, but doing needs a trigger, a process, and a low resistance path. When posting means creativity on demand at 9 p.m. after a 12-hour day shift, the brain picks the rest every single time. And the bar they have set in their heads, it's actually so high. They will scroll on competitors' content and think, my post has to look like that. So they start, they doubt it, and they scrap it. Eventually, they don't start at all. But our system eliminates that blank canvas entirely.
Your system sounds amazing, and we're definitely going to dive into more about your system in just a bit. But I've been guilty of that, just doom scrolling and watching the competition and thinking, oh God, I need to create my content like she does, or it needs to look this perfect way. So you've hit that definitely on the spot. What's the biggest misconception that people have when it comes to growing on social media?
So the biggest misconception I see is that you have to be a content creator, that you need to dance on TikTok, that you have to go viral on Instagram and build a personal brand, but you don't. You need to be consistently visible to the right people, to the right audience. A dentist, for example, does not need lots of followers. They need the people in their city to trust them enough to call. Consistent professional content build that trust. It's quiet, it's steady, and it compounds over time. So the thing is, 75% of consumers research a brand on social media before buying. This is just the times that we're in today. So that's your next client deciding whether to look you whether to call you. Do you look worthy of calling? That is the question your client is asking.
And that's so true because people think that they can just go post online and people are going to just buy their thing and they don't even know who you are. So you're absolutely right about that. Why doesn't learning more content strategy fix the problem for most people?
Simply because the strategy without execution is just an expensive theory. So here's what happens when a business owner takes another content course, they're energized for 4 days, they post 3 times, and then a client emergency hits and the strategy dies. So the information was not wrong, but the infrastructure was not there. The strategist tells you what to do, a system makes sure it gets done, regardless of how your day unfolds.
Systems are so important. I love talking about systems because how many of us ladies are guilty of having to put out fires in business and even in our own household, right? And then we just forget about the strategy piece of pushing out that content, like you said. But with the system, it's going to be published, it's going to be out there, and it's going to be the right content.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, what are people doing right now that feels productive, but it's actually keeping them stuck?
So most people, including myself, sometimes I am guilty of this. I do binge watch content about content. So, for example, spending a Saturday watching tutorials on Reels and not actually posting. So I see some business owner who will just say spend a few hours. You think maybe you're spending just 1 hour, but you end up spending 4 hours scrolling and scrolling instead of just simply posting your content. And also, another mistake I see is over customizing. So, someone, for example, gets the done for you content, opens it in Canva, and spends 45 minutes tweaking a font color. Meanwhile, their stress strategic but more consistent competitor just posted again. So, a good post published today will always beat a perfect post that never gets scheduled.
And sometimes I look at those polished posts and people are not even interacting with them. So that is wonderful feedback for our audience to consider. And it's really just a matter of getting it done. Aurora, you said something earlier that really stood out that most people don't actually have a content problem. What they have is an execution problem. Can you
Mhm.
explain what this means in simple terms for our audience?
It's actually really easy. So, a content problems means I don't know what to say, but an execution problem means I know what to say, but I never get around to actually saying it. So, these need completely different solutions. So, 90% of business owners we work with have an execution problem. The only thing they need is infrastructure. So the content already exists, so not on our end. We have a scheduler as well. Like every point of friction, we remove it between the idea and the publish button. So that's exactly what our system was built for. So the gap between knowing and doing isn't filled more by knowledge. It's only filled by removing the friction between the intention and the action. And that's where we excel.
Got it. So, how does your system remove that gap for those who are listening in?
So, for example, a person who knows but doesn't do is relying on motivation and willpower, right? Two reliable forces in our daily lives. So, motivation will peak on Monday morning and crashes by Wednesday. But a person who does it consistently, they remove the decision from the equation. So, showing up online is automatic and sending, same as you simply sending an invoice to a client. So, how we remove the gap? We actually do it in 3 ways. So the first one, we will eliminate the black canvas for you. Every single month, our members get more than 100 done for you posts, design, caption, hashtags, reel, everything ready to edit in Canva. Number two, we eliminate the daily posting stress. We have the Win Simple Social system that lets you schedule a full month across 15 platforms in about 30 minutes. And number three, we eliminate the learning curve. So you don't need to know the design, you don't need to take any strategy classes or actually know the algorithm update because we will give them to you. All the work we do that for you. The only thing you have to do, You show up, you customize, you schedule, and you move on. Simple as that.
Wow. Imagine 100 pieces of content done for you, ready to go at the start of every month. That is game changer all the
Mhm.
way. So, ladies, check out Win Social System for more information on that. I love the fact that it's creating the content, everything is getting done. I don't have to worry about what am I going to post tomorrow. And sometimes myself, I may batch for the week and feel like, oh, I'm accomplished. I did 5 days worth of content, and I'm just like, oh my God, I sat there and I had to do all these things and plug and play. So having this system is super, super powerful for any business owner.
Yeah, I agree.
So, what are some signs someone is stuck in this execution gap, but maybe they think it's something else?
One of the ways you would know that someone is actually stuck in the execution gap is they will post in bursts. So I was going to say that in French. So this means that 3 times in a great week and then silent for two. Basically, they will simply post, post, and then they go silent, and then post, and then they go silent. But then the thing they don't realize is that they call themselves inconsistent as if it's a personality flaw. But the thing is, it's a simple systems problem. They spend their money on strategy but haven't solved the logistics. They know the difference between a carousel and a reel, but nothing gets posted regularly because the infrastructure does not exist. The system is simply non existent. So, the biggest tell of all, they have great ideas in the shower, in the car, mid client sessions, but by the time they get to sit down and post those ideas, everything is gone. The motivation is gone. That's it.
Yeah, your system is amazing because I can't tell you. Sometimes I feel like I should be putting out this type of content. I need to put out reels. I need to put out these carousels, like you said. And instantly I feel this overwhelm because of the different types of content that I feel that I need to create. So having a system that's creating everything for you and structuring your process is
Mhm.
huge.
Absolutely.
So, how does this show up in their day to day business?
So someone who has that type of problem, the problem will show up as invisible. It's a second choice. So someone in their market searches for their service, they scroll past three competitors who've been posting every day and land on this person profile with the last post from 6 weeks ago. So that's not a content problem anymore. It's a trust problem. So if the person cannot trust you, it actually drains your lead every single day because the leads do compound. Every single business, the success, it compounds over time. So if you post once every 6 weeks, post once every 3 weeks, and in the meantime, the leads are supposed to actually be looking for solutions that you offer. But if you have no social media presence, or if you simply post once in a lifetime, then you're simply losing out. You're missing out.
You're right, because sometimes I'll see a profile and this post is really old. And I'm like, are they even still in business? And some people don't care about the fact that, oh, I haven't posted in 3 months. When
Yeah,
people are watching and they're like, okay, I don't even know if you're active, where that trust, like you say, is missing. So having a system like Win Social System and being able to publish content consistently really supports being able to nurture your audience and build that trust factor, like you're saying, because you're absolutely right. Without trust, you cannot get sales. And in order to build that trust, you have to nurture people consistently.
absolutely. It's a trust factor. And of course, the biggest of all, it's an income factor because
Mhm.
80% of consumers will research a brand on social media before buying. So if you have a stale or sporadic profile, it means that you're losing 3 in every 4 potential customers before you ever get to speak to them. So it's no longer a vanity metrics problem. It's a revenue problem. So everything we simply just talked about, the bottom line of your company, the bottom line is what's affected.
Yeah, it's affecting their visibility, their ability to actually get clients from leads. So they're not generating leads that convert into clients.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I love that you weren't always in this role. You were actually a client first. Can you share what your situation looked like before you found this system?
Absolutely. This is my favorite part because I was doing what most business owners do, right? I got into the online space and I learned that you're supposed to be posting, you're supposed to have a social media presence, and all the beautiful things you're supposed to do as a business owner. But then I was also not posting consistently. I only
Mhm.
posted when I felt like it, which meant that almost never. The reason being, I had a small baby, a brand newborn baby. So my profile also looked like a graveyard. Of course, I spent so many graveyard nights with my baby, but also that transferred to my socials. So that's when I came across Win Campaign, I came across the system. And I realized as well that competitors who were not offering anything better than I was, they had polished and active profiles. So I felt invisible, not because I wasn't good at what I did, but simply because no one could ever see what I was doing. So the system allowed me to actually get in there because personally I was struggling with time and fatigue. Time I sat down to post, I had to make 15 decisions. And of course, my baby was number one. And then I had to think about the topic, I had to think about the format, the image, the caption, the hashtags. And by decision six, I simply close my laptop and then go back to nursing or anything, or so something else. And then after, I was like, I am guilty. The constant quiet guilt of watching other people grow online. And while I stayed stuck, that was not fun to see. It was not a good experience. So, what changed once I started using the system? I had the relief immediately. The reason being is because we do offer packages, we do offer done for you a system, but also you have an option to add that they actually post for you. Basically, if you're a business owner, you're very busy, you can also opt in to have your post done by someone. So
I
you get
love that.
yeah, oh my God. I remember the first months when I scheduled, sorry, the first months when they posted for me, I was seeing on my socials like there's a content I saw likes. I'm like, I did not post that. That's not me. So great. On the days that I had appointment, the days that I had things to do, to know that Mondays, Wednesdays, and other days there's someone actually taking care of my socials. And then I also remember when the first time I sat down to actually schedule 30 days of content in one session, I felt the relief to know that the whole month was taken care of
That
on my
is a huge
socials.
relief.
Oh my God, that was amazing. You know that my Facebook is done, my TikTok is done, and my Instagram, everything was done. I also started to post, sorry, on YouTube as well. You can do that and other platforms. It's simply amazing. So within a couple months, people that I hadn't heard from in years were messaging me, saying, tell me like, oh, we like your reels, and then new clients and even competitors, they actually reached out to tell me how my content was top. I was like, I love this. So nothing about my business changed, but my visibility changed.
Yeah.
And that visibility was the prerequisite of what I needed, which is what leads, right? Leads to businesses. So we're here today simply because I actually came across the system last year. So that's my story, Star.
Yes, and I noticed your content. That's why I said you're a powerhouse, and I even reached out to you to compliment you on one of your reels also. I was like, "Wow."
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we're not just saying this, we're like living proof of this, that this system works. You really unpacked a lot there. And so just to dial in for our viewers, she said she has a busy schedule. You're managing, you have a new beautiful baby boy, and it was hard for you to do all of these things. We have a lot of audience members who are moms, just like
Mhm,
us. We have audience members who, are caregivers, or
mhm,
they're just simply running their business. Maybe they have the time freedom to want to travel, but without these systems, they're not able to continue to generate leads. So I think that you really shared so much value with our audience of that missing piece that many people are lacking because they want to have this, but they just don't. So now I want you to share an example of someone who thought they needed better content, but actually just needed a system like what you have here for our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So I come across so many business owners. So there is one friend of mine, we became friends through the business. Her name is Donna. So she's from the States. She called it a social media mental breakdown. She had ideas, like she had plenty to say, but she didn't have a way to actually turn those ideas into consistent posts without burning out. And really, people are busy. As you mentioned, we have so many caregivers who also are doing online businesses. And caregivers do give a lot, including their time at work, right? So
Yeah.
when are you going to have the time to come home and post? And then in the morning, you have to wake up early and go back to work. It is simply a lot if you don't have a system in place that allows you to remove that friction. What happened to Donna is that once she plugged into the system, the daily decision making simply disappeared. And the content was never really the problem anyway, friction was.
Wow. So did this person become more creative or just more consistent?
Simply consistency. So the sporadic posting pattern disappeared because the friction that caused it disappeared. So within 60 to 90 days, the compound effect kicked in.
Mm.
So more profile views, more messages, more referrals, and also more clients that said, I have been following you for a while and I finally decided to reach out. That is one of the best feelings you can ever have as a business owner online. So we also have another digital entrepreneur from Australia who told us how our system did help her to achieve the goals she's been chasing for years. Because not everyone has the time or the skills to go create something from scratch in Canva. So what changed for her? Her presence changed. The way she showed up online changed.
All right. So what kind of results have you seen from people once they actually fix this execution problem?
So, what I have seen is people getting more and more leads, people reaching out. Like I've been following you for months, but now I'm reaching out. And the new client will be mentioning specific posts during the onboarding calls. So, what happens is that we do customize the post based on your niche. So, basically, you're going to post what your niche needs. And needs desperately to hear. So another other result that we got were the time. People got the time back. So I have one of my clients as well who said that the biggest value was that she was getting the time to focus on actually simply growing her business because the content was taken care of. And we also have other members who save more than 20 hours a month because they get their life back.
Wow.
Their productivity increases. So those are some of the results I have seen people fix with our system.
Yeah, we know that you're an experienced entrepreneur based on the systems that you're currently running and what you've tried in the past. And you really tapped into a point here as the compound effect. So in typical marketing, years back, there had to be a certain number of touch points before a person would purchase. And for some reason, people now just feel like that's no longer a problem. When in fact, you have to double down on that. So being able to have that quantity and volume of content created. And then what I love about what you've said is that it's very niche specific. So it understands the pain points that your audience currently has around
Mhm.
their specific niche, and it's creating content that's actually going to call them out and speak to them. So this is a very strong, powerful system that you guys have here at Win Social System.
Yes.
Why is consistency so hard for people, even when they're motivated?
Simply because motivation is a feeling and feelings change. So systems are infrastructure. Most successful business owners we work with have social media that runs whether they're having a great day or a terrible one, not because they have more discipline, but because they built something that doesn't require discipline to function.
And what role does overthinking play in all this?
But thinking that one will disguise itself as quality control. We will, yeah, you would say, I'm just making sure it's perfect. But what's really happening? It's protecting you from the vulnerable of being seen, like the
Mhm.
vulnerability of being seen. So the solution is not to think less. No, okay. The solution is to remove the conditions that create overthinking. So when the content is ready made and professionally designed, the only decision left is, do I tweak this caption or simply do I hit schedule? 30 seconds, not 90 minutes. That's a huge difference.
That's big. It really supports an entrepreneur in their day-to-day activities. Aurora, if someone actually had a system like this in place, what would their day-to-day look like?
That's a good question. So, first Monday of the month, you open our system, you pick the content from more than 100 posts we give you, the ready made posts we give you. Of course, they're customized for your industry, for your niche. So, you open each one in Canva, you add your logo, you swap in your brand colors, copy the caption, then you drag everything into the Win Simple Social, the scheduler, and then you hit publish. In 30 minutes, you're done for the month. So for
Wow.
the rest of the month, not another thought about social media unless you want to. So the post will go out daily, automatically across 15 platforms. So you wake up, you check in the analytics, and then you respond to a few comments over your coffee morning, and your business is visible, and it costs you only 30 minutes. Just to give you the scope, we can also schedule stories.
Wow. 16 platforms and social. So you guys always hear Gary Vee and Hormozy talk about all the content that you should be pushing out. And even myself, when I hear that, I'm like, gosh, it's just so much. How can I do that? And then you
Mhm.
hear them talking about cropping content, but even that takes work. So having a system like this sounds really good to be able to hit those numbers that people want to achieve. And
Mhm.
we also know with the algorithm that everything that we put out doesn't mean that all of your followers are going to see it. So this
Absolutely.
is
Yeah.
important that we have this volume. And at Win Social System, you also mentioned that we could also have someone do it for us, the done for you part of it. So you can either sit at the beginning of the month and publish this out
Mhm.
or have someone else do it. So there's two options, which are both amazing features that you guys are
Absolutely.
offering.
Yeah. So we do have, if you say, okay, I can do this for myself, we will give you the post to do it yourself. But if you feel like maybe you might also need an extra on the days that you're busy, that maybe you get busier, you can actually take a better package, and then what's going to happen, of course, you have your post that you can do on your own, but you also have someone posting for you every single day, 7 days a week, and that's a game changer. And it's every single day for the whole year. One thing that comes to mind, I remember over Christmas last year, I was so peaceful knowing that my content was done. Yes. My family dinners, everything I had to do. I enjoyed my time off for Christmas because I knew that my socials were taken care of, all because of our system.
Awesome. I love that for you.
Thank
So
you.
when we think about entrepreneurs, how would their relationship with content change once they have a system like this?
That one is really easy. So once you stop overthinking, you stop being inconsistent. So you will become visible online. You will have more sales conversations, more referrals, more pitching, more hiring, more partnerships. As honestly, really, what we give you is the peace of mind. Knowing that your business is visible and professionally represented, even on your busiest, most human days, that means that you were the person, who will get that lead, who will have that sales conversation, who will have your business grow. Because the ultimate thing, once you have the peace of mind, your job is done, your business is growing, you are winning all the way.
Yeah, and we know that someone's going to hire the person that they see. Top of mind is the person that they're going to go to. So that is so true. I love everything that Win Social System has to offer. Who is this for?
So this is for established business owners and self-employed professionals who need to be visible on social media but can't afford the time or budget to run that visibility manually or simply hire an agency. So we serve industries, we have network marketers, we have realtors, mortgage brokers, gym owners, personal trainers, financial advisors, salon and spa owners, chiropractor, physiotherapist, dentist, car sales professional, cleaning services, plumbers, HVAC professionals, accountant. Every post that we built is for your industry. It's not generic, it's specifically yours.
Yeah, so if you're wondering if your niche can participate in this, just go to winsocialsystem.com for more information on that. So, is this system that you guys have for beginners or for people who already have a business that's struggling with consistency? It sounds so powerful.
Absolutely. So it's primarily for people who have a real business, real clients, and real expertise, but whose social media doesn't reflect that. So they have been running their business for years, but they are skilled and credible, but scroll their profile and you never know they exist. So that's for them. We are doing this for people who have real businesses, but who need visibility.
Awesome. And if someone is listening to this and they're thinking, this is exactly my problem, and I know so many people actually do need this, what should they do next?
So what they should do next, it's actually really simple. So you will go to my website, which is winsocialsystem.com today, not later. If this is the problem you've been encountering, wondering what to post, wondering, oh, I don't have the time, or should I hire someone, or can I have someone help me with getting meaningful content to my audience? So, this is a solution for you. So, you will see the plans we built for your industry. It's not for long term contract, you can cancel anytime. And of course, we do encourage you to actually sign up for the full year so that you are actually set for the year. So we guarantee you the 7 days money back guarantee, because once you see a full month of content already, you simply like we simply give you 7 days. Okay. The thing is though, we are so confident that once you see the content, you will actually be hooked the same way hundreds and hundreds of business owners have. The first step, sorry, I would take to help someone is to get them on their platform and then get them registered. And from there, we will give them access within 48 hours of signing up. And then they can start simply scheduling their content. It's really that simple.
Yes, so you are our expert for our audience of over 500,000 women when it comes to content creation and systems to publish that content. I don't take this lightly. I only promote certain people who I trust, who I value, and this system is incredible.
Mhm.
Aurora, how can our audience connect with you? Are there any social media platforms where they can find you? I know we're connected on Facebook.
Absolutely. So, for the audience for our amazing group, your amazing group Star, it's simple. I am present. So, again, my name is Aurore in French, Aurore. Last name Mukeshimana. And my page is also Aurore Mukeshimana. Or if you want to go to the Win Social System pages where I have a Facebook page, you can actually also send me a DM. Also, if you have WhatsApp, you can reach me at +1 514 778 8086. Simply text me or DM me the word system, and I will know how to get back to you in the as soon as possible.
Yes, if you have any questions, definitely reach out, connect, see what she's doing. There's some incredible things out there, but I definitely urge you to just simply visit www.winsocialsystem.com and get started today. The reason for this is that there is that 7 day guarantee. So you can just dive in and immediately get started. Take that weight off of your shoulders of having to create content, thinking that, oh, I should have all these things out there. Maybe you are consistently putting out content, but it's a lot of work. Let the
Mhm.
system do the work for you. So head on over there. You can check out the monthly or the annual option. The annual is amazing. And remember, you can actually do this yourself using their system, which is going to do a lot of the legwork that you've been doing. You don't have to rely on AI or any of that stuff. The system already knows your niche, or you can also have it done for you and choose the package where a team member will create and publish your content for you. Thank you so much for being with us. Any final words for our audience?
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for all who will be watching this. So the last word I would actually tell you is that your competitors are already showing up. So it's time to outsmart them consistently, professionally, but without burning out.
Thank you so much. You've shared some incredible value today, so many great insights. We have a lot of women who are motivated, but simply not taking action or taking minimal action without consistency. So head on over to Win Social System and get started today. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Aurora. We're
Thank,
so happy that you were able to join us today.
thank you so much, Starr.